All right, we're recording, everybody. It's that one day in October that not many people get to experience, but two teams this week will. After 8 months, 159 games, 8 finals, 2 clubs playing for that one Premiership Cup. It's happening this week up at the Jabba the Hutt this Saturday night, 7:50 p.m. The Richmond Tigers take on the Geelong Cats to win the 2020 AFL Premiership. And that means the single greatest podcast is going to preview the game and so much more to talk about because we can't be formal when it comes to this stuff. I'm your host, Chris Pepper, the co-host with the most, the J-Dog, the number 9 ranked triathlete for his age group is here in the house. We've got so much to talk about. Listeners, we love you. Viewers, you're fantastic. Get on the chat. Be part of the show. It's just how you want your footy each and every single week. J-Dog, let's get into it, mate. Last week, we had 2 ripping preliminary finals. Your team, Port Adelaide, won into it. We haven't even spoken about it. We've kept it offline. How did you pull up?
I was okay. I was reasonably drunk by the time the game started, and I was even more drunker by the game at the finish. It was actually, look, losing a prelim by less than a goal, or as in this case, a goal, just sucks. Like, it just generally sucks. But we spoke about it on Tuesday. The area where I thought that we would probably win the game from being the midfield, having a better midfield, just the second half, Richmond played much better. So that's all there really is to it. I mean, the last quarter, even though it was only 6 points, they probably should have been maybe 3 or 4 goals up.
Can I just say, the 2 games were so different. I could not take my eyes off the game on Friday night.
For a low-scoring game.
What was it, 6 goals kicked each team?
Yep.
And a couple of gimmies in the last quarter, let's just say, because, you know, good old trigger Razor Ray giving freebies.
No, I was there.
It was not there, mate.
It was there.
It was not there. The boundary line is a backman's best friend. And he went straight. There were 2 players. Let's get on to something else. But anyway, what I wanted to highlight was that it was an absolute belter of a game. The rain came in. Robbie Gray, if you don't get it, hey, everybody who's listening to this right now, give me a hell yeah if Robbie Gray gives you a chubs when he plays finals football.
He does. He tickles your nether region.
Oh, he just gives it a tickle. He just tickles your perineum.
I know. Like, talk about it. We spoke about this before, but, you know, we've got Cardi B talking about WAP. Robbie Gray does the same.
Yeah, like.
Do you know what that is? You probably don't do that.
No, I don't know Cardi B.
Well, I'm just saying. Everyone else who's under the age of 70 will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean people with hair?
Well, that's not me.
Yeah, exactly right. But no, it was a belter of a game, and then you turn on the Saturday night game.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bit of a snooze fest, to be honest.
Oh, really? You think?
I did enjoy it. Nah, Geelong are cruising.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? It was just, if you looked at the size of their playing group compared to Brisbane's playing group, they're just thick and more mature bodies.
Yeah.
And they just smashed them. They just couldn't keep up. And the players who you thought would dominate were far from even getting close to that.
Told you, Hipwood is overrated. Set it for 3 years.
He's young. Give him a break.
3 years.
He's young. What's 3 years mean?
I've been saying it for 3 years in this podcast.
Let's do the Durthma.
Hey, everyone loves a bit of bow and arrow.
Yeah, they do. You know what? You do the bow and arrow after you kick a goal. You kick a goal after you take a mark, not dropping them 10 metres out in the last quarter when your teammate has done everything possible to set up a goal.
Oh, well.
No.
At least we got within a kick of our prelim finalist team, unlike yours. You'd like to get within.
Hey, we've lost up. We had an Irishman cost us a prelim back in 87. Were you even born then?
87, I was just.
Oh, I've heard it all now. Ready? If Chad was playing, the power wins.
Oh, the geriatric Hawks are coming out.
There we go.
Lee Mack.
It was Lee Mack, you know. And by the way, we've got a new segment happening on Saturday.
No, we don't, because
yes, we do.
Dud. It's a dud.
It's not a dud. So if anybody tuned in on Saturdays,
we've
got the race. Hey, the racing, The first tip came in from Lee Mac.
Yeah. How'd the
Came
second one
in.
go for the multi?
No good.
Mm.
Ask me how the third one went.
How'd that one go, Peps?
No good.
Yep. Yeah. What'd you blow? 10?
Ah,
10
Yeah.
large?
10.
Narelle, hope you're listening. There's the mortgage.
Yeah, just go to 10. Yeah, I loaded up big time, mate. I had a massive fiver on the multi. Woo-hoo. But every week, Lee Mack has decided, I had a bit of a chat to him. He said, look, I'll give you tips every single week. So
Yep.
we're going to have lace outs, ride outs, or whatever it is. We'll figure something out. But we're going to have racing tips every day of the spring carnival for you because it's just how you want your racing tips. Lace out.
Yep.
Exactly right. So if you look at the two games, we've got Geelong. We have Richmond playing. It's going to be a cracker of a game. I think what's going to let it down, though, is Queensland. The weather.
Yeah.
It's going to be, 31 degrees,
Yep.
apparently.
Mm.
It's going to be slippery as, dewy as,
Mm.
and not a great spectacle for football, night football as it is. Night football can only be played in Melbourne because you get the goodness of the beautiful weather, but it's crisp enough not to get the dewy aspect of it. It's going to be too sweaty up there. It's going to be sweaty. How sweaty's little G Ablett's head going to be?
Peps, I'll tell you how sweaty it's going to be. That ball is going to be slipperier than any male on Patong Street in Thailand.
Hendo Rick. I reckon Hendo Rick would not be as slippery as it will be Saturday night.
He likes slippery.
He loves it. So we're going to do a bit of a chat about the game coming up this week. But before we do that, listen, a massive rumour coming out of Queensland. I don't know if you've heard this. The Tomahawk has been isolated from his teammates. Apparently he has a sore throat. Apparently the whole family's had it. Is the Tomahawk being chopped down with a slight COVID-19 infection?
No, I'll tell you what, it'd be an absolute shame if all Geelong had to forfeit. That'd be a shame.
Jeez, you're really loving a bit of Geelong action, aren't you? Do you want Geelong or Richmond to win?
Oh, God.
Who do you want to win? Geelong or Richmond? By the way, and if anyone wants to know about my hairstyle, this is what happens when you can't go to a barber in 3 months.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the greys. I'm getting a mullet.
I had to put bigger headphones on to keep on the side of my hair, just like blowing up.
Calm down. You've got no hair.
Hey, look at this. It's all right though.
Oh, jeez. That's called the Trump.
It is. I should. Yes, that's a good idea. I don't have to blow my hair.
So
anyway,
he's in a bit of trouble, the old Tomahawk.
Look, I just think we should probably just replay the prelim finals. Maybe make it a series, best of 5, maybe best of 3. What do you think?
Seriously.
No. Look, I'm going for Richmond because
I'm going for Geelong.
Why not?
I'm going for Geelong. Now, we're going to ask you later on throughout the show. We want you to tell us on the chat or on the Facebook page who's going to win, by how much, and who's taking Norm home.
Can I play this game as well?
You can play this game as well too. So who's going to win, by how much, and a margin, obviously, and who is going to take the Norm Smith medal. So on the chat, I want everybody to put your selections. Who's going to win, by how much, and who's taking Norm home, and then we'll come with our selections at the end of this evening. Rightio. Okay. So Tomahawk is in a bit of trouble. Hopefully he hasn't got the COVID. All right. Some other news of the round. Did you hear today that they've announced who's going to be handing over the cup?
No, Peps. You won't tell me who.
I will happily tell you. And that means that, I think we might be bringing back one of our old segments, J-Dog.
Please tell me what it is.
Oh, I won't tell you what it is. Why don't we just listen for what it is? The fry pan is back.
Ooh.
The fry pan. Right. AFL. You'd make some stupid decisions. But what I heard that has happened today is probably the dumbest decision I have ever heard when it comes to the great game that is the AFL Grand Final. The fact that Ash Barty is going to be presenting Richmond the AFL Premiership Cup if they win is nothing more than a disgrace. Ian Nankervis is going to be delivering it for Geelong, which is magnificent. He was a club games record holder until it was beaten by Corey Enright. played many, many games for Victoria. All you name it, he's done it.
Mm-hmm.
But tell you what, Richmond on the coattails of Ash Barty is nothing more than a disgrace. It is just, you're telling me that they could not find one Richmond person in Queensland? You know who they should have got to? You know who they should have got? They should have got the guy who owned the kebab shop that Sydney Stacks and Callum Jones got themselves into a fight. He would have been more appropriate than Ash Barty presenting the cup.
Yeah.
It's got to be someone of note. And I think they're going to be riding on the coattails. Like I said, does it mean that Gary Ablett is going to go and present the women's champion of the Australian Open next year? Of course not. So don't go ruining it for a cheap thrill. You've already stuffed it up with the Brownlow, with Lachie Neale giving himself the medal. God, that was an absolute farce.
Yeah.
And then you're going down this track. It's not been a good week for you, AFL. Not a good week at all. You need to pull your finger out. You better have some great entertainment this week. It better be good.
It's going to be amazing.
The frickin' Seekers better be playing. That's all I've got to say on that. The fry pan's done.
Wow. What is... So your issue is the fact that she's not football related?
That's why. Jamie, come on, mate. You're telling me this is the pinnacle of our sport.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We get laughed at so much anyway by the NRL of the stuff we do grand final day. Ash Barty, come on. You look at the greats, John Kennedy, Bobby Davis, Bob Skilton. They've all given this beautiful cup over to the coach and captain to rise up into the air. I haven't seen my club do one ever.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's really good and you cheer really loud when it happens.
Yeah.
But no, it's just not right because she's a fan. I'm tipping there's a lot of fans out there. It's not right, Jamie. I'm sorry. It's a disgrace.
Okay.
It's
well,
a disgrace.
I'm looking for. I don't really mind either way. I probably would have preferred a footy.
It's got to be a football person.
A football person of note of that club to hand over the, obviously the thing.
You could have got Malcolm Blight. He's up there in Geelong, coached them to 4 grand finals.
Oh, I thought about Richmond.
Yeah, he could do Richmond's.
But that's what I thought. I thought it would have been someone of note from the AFL. Whether it's Ash Barty. Channel 7 copped a whack 2 weeks ago when they were showing bloody Barty TV every time Richmond.
Oh,
remember
God.
that?
They could have, they should get the love machine. Mark Pepper, he could present the Norm Smith.
The Norm Smith?
The Norm Smith. It is the Norm Smith medal.
Oh.
That's
You
right.
sure it's not the Lord Smith?
No, it's not the Lord Smith. We're not taking dogs, my friend.
Did you see Steph's comment? That's really funny.
Yeah, which one was that? About my hair?
No, about Lord Smith.
What was about Lord Smith? What was it? I didn't see it.
Oh, missed it. Anyway.
Oh, Lord Smith will be Dustin Martin. Lord Smith. Oh, mate, he is not.
I'm looking forward to seeing the halftime
should
entertainment
know.
this year, Peps. I'm looking forward to it.
Little League?
No, we've got Shepherd playing. You know who Shepherd are?
Yeah, they sang Geronimo.
Yeah, and Coming Home. They sang and that as well.
Oh, that's okay.
They're performing with Brisbane indie pop faves, Cub Sport, and Indigenous electronic rock duo.
Yeah, I
Field.
know him well.
Lead singer from... lead singer.
Yep,
Andrew Stockdale.
Yep.
He's going to be singing.
Wolf Mother.
perform.
Woman!
Not
Can't
Wolf
sing.
Mother. Imagine Wolf Mother perform that. That'd be pretty good.
Mate, can he sing Woman anymore, or is that just too
No,
soon?
he can. No, he's still good. He's still good.
Oh, okay. All
So it's going to be a good. Well, I don't know. Is it going to be a good Saturday, Pez?
It's gonna be a bumper Saturday. It's grand final day.
Saturday night?
How good is this? Look, you're gonna have a full day to just get yourself set up. Yeah, they're gonna slide into your seat with a full esky. You gotta watch the Cox plate, and then go straight into the AFL grand final.
Oh, so you come around to a night grand final, Pez, after years of it.
Just this year? No, not in Melbourne. No,
No.
it's
Sounds like you spent fun.
This year is going to be awesome. Cox plate into the grand final. It's going to go off. Now, we've had some people calling in. Prestia, the Tigers by 27. Prestia, Geelong by 30. Dustin Martin will be Lord Smith by the end of it. Tigers by 100, you're dreaming. Look, let's just move off that because there is so much to talk about. I've just lost my camera for whatever reason.
Do we want to talk trades?
Yeah, go for it. I want to talk a bit of trades because that has come on big time in the last couple of days. First and foremost, can I just say this?
No.
Free agency is going to absolutely foobar this game up.
Come on, Peps. Be smarter than that.
No, it's dumb. Free agency is going to ruin the game.
Peps.
How can a club who's had the Coleman medalist potentially bring up last year's Coleman medalist in this? It's not right, mate. Yeah, it's good to see the whole, equalization's really working out well.
Well, I think you're gonna lose your mind over this. They're also apparently into Ben Brown in a big way as well. All three of them. Geelong.
Who? How? Where?
So they've got apparently with the money they're freeing up, they're going to get Brown, Cameron, and Tomahawk in the forward line, and then Dangerfield to pinch it when he wants to.
Oh, slightly top heavy.
No, I'm only joking.
Don't worry. Oscar McDonald will take all three of them.
I'm just joking.
Question, is J-Dog up for trade? I'd want at least 2 first-round draft picks. I'm happy to split them over this year and next year, but we're willing to work something out. He's the co-host with the most. I can't. The show's nothing without him. Like I said, I'm Lace. He's out. You'd be just, hey, welcome to Lace.
Actually, I'm glad Lee Mack's on tonight because, mark my words, Lee Mack, 2 years' time, Renault will not be in Formula One. Anyway, so let's keep talking about this. Jeremy Cameron's left. They've got, we spoke about Jai Caldwell's finally leaving as well. Where does it leave the Giants, Pep? One of their foundational players, 10 years. Because I know you don't like it. I know you don't like free agency, but he's been there for 10 years.
No, it's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
We've got caps, so he's going to fit in the cap of Geelong.
Yeah, but it's the problem with it is that the lower clubs who probably need it more than anything just keep getting left out.
Yeah, and
that's where it's wrong. So the people who do go to those clubs are going for their retirement packages, their superannuation to top that up.
Mm-hmm.
Where the good players only wanted to go to the good clubs. And I can understand it, but it shouldn't be that way. I've been saying it since day dot. If you're in the top 4, so you make the prelims, you shouldn't be allowed to participate in free agency the next year.
Whoa. Okay.
I've said that since day dot.
I need like just a minute to sit and digest that.
Yeah, let that one marinate in. So basically what that would mean is that your club,
mm-hmm.
Richmond, Brisbane, and Geelong could not participate in free agency this year. So if they want a player, they're going to have to trade him in. So they just don't get him for nothing.
But I can think of Port. We've got probably 4 or 5 players who are on the cusp of either ending it this season or next season's their last. So we might want a player to come in.
You just can't be part of free agency. It's too bad.
Okay. Right. How do we feel about that, listeners?
I like it.
Peps is just, I know you like, of course you're liking it.
I like it. The crowd likes it. Lee Mack's giving it 100%. Look at that.
That was ever to
he
you.
thinks I'm 100% on the 8%. He reckons I'm 100% on the mark there.
No,
rightio. Sunday night. Can I say I was a very, very, very happy man? I think all three of us were a very, very happy man. Me, you, and the AFL. Congratulations to Lachie Neale winning the AFL Brownlow medal. Legitimate Brownlow medalist, unlike
Easy.
Sam Mitchell and Cochin.
In a canter.
You're talking about the AFL having an asterisk next to themselves. Those two guys have the biggest asterisk next to their name. I'm sorry. Asterisk. All right. But can I just say also, your man coming in second, Boki, fantastic. Yeah. My man, Pep Tracker, coming in third with Jack Steele. It was just nice to see name brands getting the recognition because they were basically the 3 or 4 that they thought would virtually dominate. And to see the votes go that way was exciting.
Yeah.
But it also, isn't it interesting that Nick Nat, the number 1 ruckman, didn't get a sniff.
He won
just
West
goes
Coast.
to show, Cap wasn't competing against much, let's be honest. They're just goes to show the umpires actually do recognise if you do something around the ground. You've actually got to do something around the ground, not just when it balled up every 4 or 5 times, because that's all he does. And dreadlocks do not win your medals and only wins your club best and fairest. But he won his club best and fairest. Now,
I wish I had time to write a run sheet today just to stop you from ranting about all your AFL issues.
No, I've got another AFL issue. Now, I'll need this one out for the listeners. Now, for all the listeners out there who was watching, I'm on fire tonight.
Peps, I'm going to put my camera on you, and you just go for it tonight, mate.
No. This is for all the listeners and all the viewers right now. If anyone out here has the AFL Brownlow medal PowerPoint that normally comes out the day after with all the wags and their outfits and the comments, could you please send it through? Because none of us have actually received it. It's been a little bit disappointing so far that it's taken to Tuesday. It's usually in the mailbox by 10:30 on a Monday morning. So if you've got it, please send it through, please. We'd really appreciate that. Okay. A very, very good point, this one. A free agency tax on the top 4. I do agree with that. I definitely agree with it. Good that Sam has 4 flags to lean back on versus Brian Wilson. Well, look, I think Brian Wilson has quite a fair bit of money, quite a number of Grammys. He's part of the Beach Boys. I think he's got a lot to live up to, mate. I don't think he really cares about the minnow Sam Mitchell when he's flying around the world making $1 million every single week.
Are we doing season 1 podcast again? G'day guys, Christopher Pepper here. I'm just going to share your thoughts and my feelings on the great game of football. Like, do you need a co-host tonight? I'm just going to sit back and just start cutting some things for Christmas trees. I don't know. What do I do, Peps? I'm just going to clear the decks all night. I'll start tidying my desk. I'll start putting things across here. You just tell me when you want me for tonight, okay? You just let me know when you want me because I'll just be around. I'll be around the office and you just let me know when you need me. All right?
I need you now.
I'll just stick this in there.
I need you now.
Anyone else need some tax done for tonight or I can just run some things for you? Just let me know because I'm obviously not needed tonight. I'm just here with my microphone turned on just for background noise if you need me.
Oh, yes, we do know this is live. This is live, just how you want it.
Oh, dear. So, Peps, please, where do you want to go? I'm just wondering, where are you going tonight? Because I'm drawing a map. I don't know. I'm just trying to draw a map of where you're going tonight.
All right. So, we
started AFL Grand Final.
Yep.
And then we went to Ash Barty Rant.
Yep.
Then we went across.
Rejected!
Yep.
Then we went across to AFL Fry Pan. That's right, Fry Pan Ash Barty.
Yep,
so where do you want to talk?
Then we went to Brownlow.
Boom shakalaka!
All right, Brownlow.
And then we went the Wags PowerPoint.
He's on fire!
PowerPoint. Good.
Yep.
So where do you want? Where does this map take us right now?
Okay,
what's the next topic?
So this map takes us. I think it's our time for our grand final preview of the great game that is happening this Saturday. So I'm going to be doing Geelong.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie's going to be doing Richmond. We're going to toss the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Heads or tails?
Done.
Fantastic. You win.
Yep.
We'll start with you. All right. So what we're going to do is we're not going to do who's going to win it and why. We're going to be looking at the 5 players that we think need to lift this week to get their team over the line. You're starting with Richmond. Would you like to do all yours first, or do you want to go left, right?
You go yours first, and I'll go mine after you.
No, you're going first. We'll
okay.
do one at a time. We'll do one at a time.
Sure. Okay. My first player that needs to lift this week in particular is Marlon Pickett. He has been a player that had the greatest possible grand final first game last season. But I've just noticed he's just not quite at the same level and will need to be against that Geelong midfield. If he doesn't have a great game, I think that Geelong has a play that they could exploit.
Ooh, geez, low-hanging fruit on that one.
Start low, aim high.
Start low. Reebok. All right. Okay. So the first player that I am going to go with is Reece Stanley,
Mm-hmm.
because he's actually been playing some pretty good football over the last couple of weeks. But he's going to be up against the big Nank, who was almost the best player on the ground in the last week. And by the way, anybody who said Dustin Martin was best on ground, you got no idea about football, because I think he was far from it. Far from it. And I know I'm going to get the hate mail coming through on the chat. He was far from the best. The Nank won them that game. What he did in that last quarter was sensational. And if he has a similar sort of game this week, it's going to be very, very difficult for Reece Stanley to perform it as well. So he has to play. He has to play good football. He has to do what he was last week, taking marks around the ground. We don't want the old Reece Stanley who was getting dropped at the start of the year. We want the Reece Stanley that's been playing the good footy over the last couple of weeks. So he needs to have a very, very good game, even just to break even with that strong Richmond ruck.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. My next player that I'm calling out to have to just lift a little, just a tiny bit, is Liam Baker.
Ooh, the bake.
The Baker. I just think that you're going to need to be on your best game to stop the Geelong midfield forward rolling positional changes there for Liam Baker. And he's probably going to have to pick up, who could he go to? Actually, I don't know who he'll pick up. Gary Rowan, maybe. You might get him through there. You probably might get Danger potentially. Depends on who Geelong go with for their lineup. But I just think that the back line and Liam Baker in particular may have a bit of a harder role this week than what he had last week.
Okay, well, you mentioned Liam Baker. I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to talk about a guy who does have a premiership under his belt, but has a habit of going missing on grand finals, and that is Gary Rowan. Okay? He's obviously caused some controversy up there in the hub. I'm not going to go into it. Just get on the forums. You'll be able to find out a little bit about that. But he's played some pretty good footy over the last couple of weeks. He has been kicking goals. But he has a habit of not doing anything on a grand final day. Okay? And a couple of years ago, they had to dig up the MCG turf to see if they could find Gary Rowan because he went missing the day before.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit of an impact player. He can score. He does bring the pressure on.
Yeah.
But he can be a bit flaky when it comes to, like I said, that last day in October.
Mm-hmm.
So if he plays well, Geelong are going to be a massive chance. And if he kicks his 2 or 3, which he has done, Geelong are a very, very big show. If they don't, it's just going to be putting more pressure on the Tomahawk to be kicking his bag. So Gary Rowan is my second player who will need to lift Shannon Knoll style to make an impact on grand final day.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it so much. So I find it fascinating that you have chosen Reece Stanley as your person that needs to lift.
Mm-hmm.
I've just gone his complete opposite in the ruck. I've gone Toby Nankervis. The Nank. Even though, and look, it's not because he
should have got BOG.
It's not because he needs to lift, but I think more than ever, he is super critical to them winning this game. And if he doesn't give them the silver service that he gave his team last week in the second half, Richmond's midfield could be in trouble. And I say that because they are like 13th or 14th ranked in clearances. Not that Richmond are a clearance dominant winning team, but I still think that Toby Nankervis needs to give his players silver service because Geelong are not short of having great midfielders who can explode from those packs.
Well. Okay. Here's my player that has to have an absolute starring game. And this will be the most controversial one to come out of this list. This player already has 2 flags. Okay. He's got less hair than you, Jamie, And
Is that
potentially
possible?
it could be his last game of AFL football ever. I'm talking about G. Ablett, the little master.
Okay.
He was sensational last week. He was that goal that when he burst out of the middle and slotted it from 55, that was the little G. Ablett we've known for many, many years. But he's pushing 36.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to kick at least 2 to make an impact and cause some trouble up forward. There has been times this year where, I don't know whether it's age, but he just hasn't been able to find that rhythm.
Yep.
Geelong, we know that they don't have a lot of genuine scoring options.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they probably rely too much on the Tomahawk. They do rely on Gary Rowan. They do rely on another guy I'm going to mention in a moment. But Gary Ablett, they need him to kick his couple. Okay,
Yeah.
because he can't go through the midfield as long as he normally would.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a bit of speed, but not as fast as he is, and he's not much of a lockdown tackler as well too.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't kick his couple, it's going to, like I said, put more pressure on the players who struggle in finals. And then my next number, which is a disgrace, is another forward. There's also another premiership player who hasn't done much this year as well too. He's averaging less than a goal a game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't lift, once again, so most of mine are going to be forwards because
Okay.
that's where I see Geelong's biggest heel being.
Yeah.
So my third player is G. Ablett.
Okay.
Outside of that, absolute star. Best player I've seen outside of David Schwartz and Alan Jakovic.
Really?
No, just Alan Jakovic.
Fair enough. My fourth player I'm going to put on that list, and it's a little bit harsh. So I fully accept that. And Richmond people are going to come a bit angry at me, but that's okay. We've got a podcast. Who gives a shit? The fourth person, and it's only because I do hold this player in particular high regard, and that's Dion Prestia.
Oh, the meatball.
And it's harsh because he has missed a lot of footy this season. So I fully appreciate that he's come in and he has picked up. But I know
Played a good game last week against your mob.
I know. And that's what I'm going to preference this. Previous to that, though, he was up around that sort of 95, 92 point, 90, 100 points per in fantasy points. So, and I know you don't give much credence to that, but that still is a measurable stat.
Fantasy points.
Well, it's still measuring kicks, marks, handballs, effectiveness, all those things that you need to get points up there.
All right, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Anyway, so he was up around the mid to high 90s for a while there. He's come back in and he's sort of sitting around sort of the 30, 50. So that's a big drop. And I think that he has to continue his upward trajectory for Richmond to get that midfield dominance like he did last week against our mob, because he really did play a pretty good game.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. That's your 4. I got my number 4 is actually number 4 at all. He's number 40. This guy's already played for the Dogs. He won a grand final with them back in 2016. Jumped ship, went over to the Cats. Luke Dalhouse. I don't know if he's ever had a good game ever in his 2 years he's been over at Geelong.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about fantasy points? He had 25 last week.
Yeah.
All right. He had 9 disposals, 1 kick, 8 handballs, 35 meters gained. I could throw the football further than that. Lee Mack could long jump longer than that. Might break a collarbone, but that's a different story for another day. He didn't do anything last week. I don't think he did much the week before either. And he's on pretty thin ice, I reckon. If his name wasn't Luke Dalhouse, and it might be, I don't know, pick something random, Lee Moss, he might not be playing this week. So okay. I don't know what he's bringing, because he's not laying tackles. His forward defensive pressure is not that much.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, if he has another slow day, if all the mid half forwards, forward pocketers of this Geelong team have a bad day, it could get very, very ugly, because that back line of Richmond is going to run off from left, right and centre. So Luke Dalhouse, you need to pull the proverbial digit out of your peacock and butthole and have a good one this week. Otherwise, you're going to be walking down with your head between your legs. And by the way, It's true. It is Luke Shithouse. Luke Outhouse. Luke Dollhouse.
Oh, dear.
All
right.
Who's your final?
My final one, and it's going to be no surprise. You thought I picked low-hanging fruit before, Peps. This is a genuine low-hanging fruit. Jack Riewoldt.
Oh.
You need to lift your game, champ. Geelong's back line, they love the high floating ball. They like to do the zone defense. They do it very well, led expertly by Harry Taylor back there. Jack Riewoldt has just had a bit of a stinker of a year. I would call it a stinker of a year for Jack Riewoldt, 2020.
Oh.
I'm thinking he needs to just lift. He needs to lift. That's it. I haven't seen him take hold of a game proper for a little bit. And this is the game he can.
Is there a bigger sook in the AFL than Jack Riewoldt? He is a shell of his former self. And if any Richmond supporter says he's playing his role, I don't know what role that is because all he does is taps. He doesn't take marks. He's not dangerous at all.
Yeah.
He'd be, 3 years ago, you'd be like, get on Jack. Now it's like, let him do his thing up the ground because he's not hurting anyone on scoreboards at the moment.
Well,
I don't think.
Well, at the moment, like if we just look at it from round 18 to where he was at the lowest point, semi-final, prelim, final, fantasy points again, we're talking a drop of basically, it's almost like 45, 50 points. That's a huge drop in output and what he's actually doing on the field. And people go, oh, yeah, as you said, playing a role, taps, assist, all that's taken consideration. So if he's just doing a couple of taps and assists, then he's not marking, he's not kicking, and he's not getting goals. So his output's not quite there.
Well, my last one, hey, that's a great 5, by the way, but I reckon this one's going to top it up because this one's going to be the difference, I think. Lockie Henderson. At his third club.
Mm-hmm.
At one stage, you'd probably say about a year ago, he looked like his career had been in the toilet and he's had a bit of a resurgence and is playing probably career best football, if you can actually say that. But he's going to be either picking up Jack or Lynchy on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't have a game out of his shoes, it could get very ugly very quick. We saw what Lynchy did last week, being able to just turn it on a dime.
Yeah.
He did the week before as well too. They're going to have to be right on him. Now, I don't know. I think Henderson will go to him. Maybe I think Taylor will go to Jack just because the aging superstars will go against each other.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to be on his medal.
Yeah.
They can't let him do what Tom Lynch does at all. Otherwise, Lynchy will be getting Norm.
Okay. We're going to go that early, are we?
If Lockie Henderson has an absolute mare, Lynch could be up for 5, and we know 5 is a bag, and a bag will win you. Will win you Norm.
Yep.
Okay, but he's not going to be my tip.
Let's talk about the next thing, the weather. As you said, you alluded at the top of the show.
Yep.
Like decades ago, we spoke about this.
Yep.
But the weather is going to be wet, greasy, slippery, like we said.
Yep.
Will that have an impact on either side?
Just like your bike shorts after a 40K ride, Jamie. It's going to have a massive effect on the game. Now, anybody who's ever, actually played the game, or 377 of them, will know that if it's going to be hot, it's going to be slippery, it's going to be slimy. Mind you, these are two pretty big built teams. They're going to absolutely punch the living crap out of each other, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait. One thing I have noticed, though, that if the ball stays off the ground, and it did happen on Saturday night, if the ball stays off the ground, it's not going to be as slippery through the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw what Danger was doing last night and the week before.
Yeah.
He was just popping them off. Jack took one last week, was just popping them off.
Yeah.
So maybe early on, and once they sort of get their measure of it, I don't think it's going to be much. I just want a bit of a shootout. I want a game that's going to be exciting. That's all I want. That's all I want.
You're right.
That's all I want. I
Because
don't want anything more like that.
grand finals are traditionally
Shit games.
pretty ordinary.
Oh, yes.
It takes two interstate teams to make a good game.
Let's go back to 2007. Anyway, that was a ripper, that one, wasn't it? 1990. Let's go back to 1988. Let's go back to 2000.
That was a good one.
We could go back to last year. That's how bad it was. All right. So I think the weather's going to take it, but mind you, the games are shorter. They're 16 minutes. I don't like these 16 minutes. Games are over too quick. I'm looking forward to going back to normal next year. All right. One question for you.
Yes.
Who is all right, well, we'll do it now because we've got some coming through. Danger for the Norm, Cats by a point. Nick Hogan has come in here saying danger, Norm Smith, Cats by 17. Duncan or Gut, mate. Parko, you can't hedge your bets, mate. It's either one or the other, all right? Okay, make up your mind. Cats by 16. A lot of people going for the Cats. The only people going for Richmond are Richmond supporters, and I think that's a bit of a feel. I think people think Richmond have become a little bit too arrogant, a little bit too up themselves, a little bit too comedy club before the game.
Well,
and no one likes it anymore.
Well,
okay. What about 2008?
Yeah,
grand final.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I got an announcement about the 2008 grand final very, very shortly.
Peps, does this game have the risk of becoming, because it's two teams have already won a couple of premierships and been pretty dominant the last 10 years, does this game run the risk of being a little bit like the 2011 premiership, the one that no one remembers that Collingwood won?
It was 2010, but that's okay.
Not 2010.
You'll get there one day. No, I think they'll remember it. I think if it's look, there's grand finals that people forget.
Are people out there genuinely excited though, Peps?
No, I think people are. I think it's a bit different because it's in Brisbane. If it was in Melbourne, we'd be excited for it. Do you remember last year?
Yeah, I was there. It was great.
Everyone was, well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. There's a town of the mighty giants.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
That was just pumping.
Because it was a story to it. GWS haven't won a premiership before. The new kids on the block.
Yeah.
Up against the Richmond, trying to go for their second premiership.
Yeah. What's your point, mate?
What's the story this year, Peps?
I think a team trying to create a dynasty against a team who have
got a dynasty.
No, they haven't. They haven't got a dynasty. They've got one from maybe 7, 9, 11, but they haven't done anything over the last 10 years. How many finals have they lost in a row? You got people potentially playing their last game, people playing their first final. Can a team that has promised so much over so many years against a team that has that much self-belief and basically think that they are the kings of the jungle? Is it the felines versus the tiger? It's mate, I'll tell you what, when you're sitting there and that national anthem starts playing and you're into your sixth bourbon, if you don't have a bit of chubs with a bit of excitement, you shouldn't be watching the game. I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope it's not going to be a bust. Wow. I just hope it's not going to be a bust. And I don't think it will be.
Okay.
These are two very, very mature football clubs and very mature football teams who have stars on every single line. It's a game. You got Cochin, Prestia, Martin versus Selwood, Dangerfield, Duncan, Menengola versus Vlosten. You've got Reece Stanley versus Nankervis, Ablett versus Baker, Parfitt versus pick a Richmond bloke out. You know what I mean? It's just everyone. I'm excited for it.
It's no secret though. It's no secret though, Peps, that these probably are two of the most hated teams across other AFL supporting people. The Australian way is tall poppy. We know what tall poppy syndrome is.
Yeah.
We don't want to see the successful always be successful.
Yeah, that's
so. My question is: people don't like Geelong. People don't like Richmond now. People don't like Hawthorn. So is this? I don't know. Is it people want to see?
All right. So simple. It's as simple as this. Everybody wants Geelong to win, except Richmond supporters. That's as simple as it gets. I'm not. Roscoe, you said it perfectly. We are jealous. We are jealous of what you've achieved. And that's why we can't wait for you to just blow up in your face after your, comedy club routines that you pull out before you run out every single week. Nah, he's not. He's not correct. He's not correct. He's not correct. Don't. No, I reckon it's going to be.
Look, it's grand final day, Peps. It's grand final day.
Grand final day. Does it matter? I'd even barrack for Hawthorn when they're going for their 18th in a row. No, you don't care. It's just a day just to enjoy the great game of AFL. You've got to realise, at one stage this year, it looked like we weren't even going to get here.
Well, I mean, is this the premiership you want to win, Peps? It's worth nothing this year.
You go and speak to any Liverpool. You go and speak to any Liverpool supporters, and you speak to a Liverpool supporter and tell them that their title last year meant nothing.
Oh, it's not even a real season.
And if you don't wake up with your teeth knocked out, you're not being genuine. A premiership is a premiership.
It's not even a real season, Peps. We should have been calling it off years ago. Look at you sitting there.
I got nothing.
You're so angry. You're so angry.
Just sometimes the dribble that comes out of your mouth. Crikey, we've been doing this show for 3 years. Now, this is actually one of the funny. This is actually a funny comment, but it's actually a very good comment. And this one came from Ross Bartlett. Everybody laughed at Benny Gale 10 years ago when he was on Footy Classified saying that they wanted to have 3 premierships by the end of 2020, 75,000 members. And I remember when that happened. And what's this guy talking about? And you're looking back now and go, can't argue with them. They might only have 75,000 because they have pets. They have goldfish. I think they have you can have like your deceased people can be members. So I don't think it's a genuine 100,000. They might be 75 and 25 fill-ins.
Just goes to show that you can buy the AFL off, doesn't it? Really,
you certainly can. Well, when you virtually play every game at home. Tell me any other clubs that played 16 games in a row at the MCG.
Geelong, the other corrupt club of the AFL.
Doesn't matter. They're all corrupt. They're all dodgy. They're all dodgy.
So what's your grand final plans? Because I know that everything's still locked down and everything's still happening. So what's your plans?
Look, I'll probably set up the projector out under the porch in the backyard in the pergola.
Yep.
Have a nice can of get a bottle of Canadian Club with some dry ginger. Put on the surround sound, my friend, and just watch the game in all its beauty.
Kiddo's finished then?
Oh, for Saturday it will be. You can drink. I might not have any Coke in it. I might just go straight. All right. I don't know. I really don't know. I might.
You're going to go for a walk and catch up and maybe watch on the phone, having a walk with the selfie stick? So you're watching the game with Love Machine or with Trev or anything like that?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. I'll just sit at home, take it easy, force the kids to watch the footy.
Can we give our suggestions to some people who maybe want to watch it together? Like people doing Zoom parties? What are people doing?
I don't know. Yeah, what are you doing? On the chat or on the Facebook page, tell us what you're doing for grand final day. I'll also be watching the Cox Plate, no doubt about that. Who's your tips? Hey, I know we've got some racing fans here. Who's your tip for the Cox Plate? Who and why and how much?
It's just because I tell you what, I'm going to go for Winks. Is he still running?
Winks. I'm going for Might and Power.
Or Fallout.
Into Doremus. I
love the virtual racing. At the tab. No.
Trackside.
I hate Trackside. No, I like when they do like Mountain Power versus Winks versus.
Ladbrokes are doing that. The greatest Cox Plate ever.
That's it. Yeah, I like
that's exciting. I do like that. You know what happens when I see that come up on the screen?
Boom shaka.
Another bit of boom shakalaka. Might even go with a bit of.
He's on fire.
He's on fire. Now, a couple of things I also want to quickly. Arcadia Queen. Here we go. Arcadia Queen. Put your money on it. Okay, Arcadia Queen is the tip for this week. So that'll be part of our double ups multis. If you've got a multi for this week, Ross Bartlett, your multi from last week. Do you remember his multi, which was the Wine Horse into Tom Lynch kicking the first goal? Poo, mate, poo. Ross and Camelot by 2 lengths.
Peps.
Yes, mate.
I
Talk to me.
actually have got a couple of things for you.
All right, go for it.
I got some direct messages last week from our listeners.
Okay.
So the first direct message
Yep.
I have to bring up with you,
Yep.
and this is also for the listeners. And this person comes in. For the last 2 years, as a Cat supporter, I've watched a lot of their games. I've come to realise that I believe that they were a fake contender. Always towards the top of the ladder, but ultimately not good enough to play in the big one. I've said to countless people, especially this year, that the Cats are no good and they'll crumble when the pressure is on. They only beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but struggle against the good teams. And I'll be honest, I've never been so happy to have been completely wrong about something. The question is, have you ever got it completely wrong? What was it? And more importantly, can you admit that you were wrong about something?
Is it sport related or what?
Oh, you can go wherever you want to go. I don't want to turn this into a bloody open mic session, so you can just keep it real high level and a bit of fun, Peps. What about the time when you used to drive around a pink-coloured XL with no shirt on? Can you admit that you got the optics on that wrong?
Oh,
You thought you looked good, but
No.
the optics on it were not good.
no. That's not- that is not-
Rose-coloured XL.
No, it was a Holden Astra. Right? And it was burgundy.
The optics were wrong.
Actually, yeah, I did. I when I first met my wife, when I was first going out with my wife, I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to wear an AC/DC belt buckle. I got that one wrong. Someone's giving me a bit of a. What about all those games you wore long sleeves?
Oh,
Oh,
that is so funny.
listen, Parko. I had to go to the chiropractor every week after we played because I held that team up for years, and you know it, my friend. All right, Jamie, was yours thinking LeBron's better than Jordan?
LeBron is still better than
No,
Jordan.
he's not.
But
I'll admit I got that one wrong.
I will.
I also get wrong that I thought the Giants would beat Richmond last year. And about 5 minutes into the grand final, I went, oh, shit, got that one wrong.
Actually, I think you and I both got that wrong. We thought
We
the Giants,
both got that one wrong.
Giants were going to be around for 10 years winning premierships.
No. All right. Next question.
The next one was a pickup on something last week that come through. So it's a bit of a actually segment.
Yeah.
The question was put about Mark Blitzar's story. You know, remember that question I asked you last week? And this person was fully aware that you would bring up the Jim Signs story. But what about in the last 15 years? Surely no one comes close to the story of Blitzar's. Category B rookie, turned B&F winner, and an integral part of a grand final team. That's a pretty good story,
I'm
isn't
going
it?
to bring up Jim Steins because you
No, last
asked me.
15 years. In the last 15 years. The Marlon Pickett story, could you say that's a pretty
No,
good story? No? Last 15 years?
You can't put Marlon Pickett.
One game, jail story, almost wins the Norm Smith.
Well, it's luck, isn't it? That's just luck.
Story.
It's a good story, but it's not the greatest story.
Liam Jarrah gets dropped from Melbourne, comes to Port,
No.
plays a game, goes up north, almost chops someone's head off. That's what a story of redemption.
Oh, Jesus. I think I'd say the Jason McCartney story when he came back after the Bali bombings was a pretty good story.
Was that 15 years ago? In the last 15 years?
Oh, I don't know. If you're asking about a good player, I don't know. I don't have any.
Anyway, that was just a couple of things that.
Well, that's
this person
fine.
picked up.
That's good on him.
Hey, I said bring it on.
Actually, I got one for you. Mike Pike. There's one for you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Remind me, what's that story?
He was the Canadian who played rugby for Canada,
Canadian.
Canada, ended up playing it in the Swans and played in a premiership team as their ruckman.
That is actually a pretty good story. I
Yeah.
forgot about
So you tell
Okay.
your mate, who I don't know if he's on the chats tonight, that I'll see your 15. Now we'll go 15 all.
Oh, Lee
There you
Mack.
go.
Lee
There you
Mack.
What's that?
Pick any player in that team. Hawks taking Frawley to a flag. Pick anyone they picked up in that free agent period.
Do we have to talk about free agent? It's free agency again. We got pick 3 in the draft. We got Petrarca for Frawley. Happy with that one.
So that were the questions that I had. Peps, any
All right.
questions from the listeners that they have for the final few minutes that we're going to sit
Yeah.
here? And
Just chew the
And
fat.
keep going.
Any questions that you have for us before we wrap up? You know, we're still waiting. Like I said, a couple of minutes left. We want to find out who is going to be your pick, either for the Cox Plate or who's going to win the flag and who's going to take out Norm this week. Like I said, lots have come. Dusty Tycoon, Doomman Race 10. That's another one. So put that in your multi.
that's a good one.
All of these will be going up on the Lace Out Racebook page on Saturday morning with our special tipster Lee Mack.
I'm going to be spending probably the grand final day. Maybe with my brother. He's a Richmond supporter. I spent last Friday night with him, and that was pretty good.
Well,
That's pretty good.
you're in regional
I am.
Victoria now, so
I am.
you can actually do stuff.
I can do stuff. So that I might do that because it's a Saturday night, which is kind of good.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know that I'm a big fan of night grand finals. I've been calling it for years. I do want it. MCG, the pocket, the Gabba has the MCG grass in it. How exciting! No, not excited. Okay, I'll tick that one off our list. Don't care about turf.
Helios! Bloody weakest.
Sorry, the people with headphones on just blew their earphones out.
Oh, here we go. Love that premiership medallion crap tracker one. I can't argue with this, but I think it's time to almost finish this episode up, mate. It's been an absolute belter again. Alrighty, so I'm going with Geelong. So here's my tip for this week, all right? I'm going with Geelong
Yep.
by 17 points. I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be blown out. And I'm going to go a half backman to win. I reckon I'm going with. Actually, I'm going to go Cam Guthrie.
Oh,
Cam Guthrie.
made the All Australian squad.
He's got hair. And you think about it, Dusty, Johannesson, Dusty again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who has neck tats?
Doesn't matter. He sticks out. And if he wears a long sleeve, like all great footballers wear long sleeves,
Mm-hmm.
I reckon Cam Guthrie. So you've heard it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Guthrie and the Cats to win by 17 points. Go Cats!
Okay, I'm going to go for the Tigers for the win. I think they're going to win it by 26 points. And my Norm Smith, I'm going to pick a left of field. So I'm going to go for, you said a halfbacker, didn't you?
Like a halfbacker. They always, it's got to be someone who's going to get the ball a lot and he's going to run. You need someone who's going to stand out.
I'm going to go Shy Bolton.
Oh,
He has been quite good this year.
He's been very good this year. He's been very good.
And I think someone on the forward pocket. I mean, he's always going to be in and around the game. If it's scrappy, and Richmond play a bit of a gets locked in there a little bit, like he did against them, like Richmond did last Friday night against Port Adelaide.
Yep.
He will be in and about and around that ball when it matters, which is the fourth quarter, because they all know that Norm Smith's the one in the fourth quarter, like Dusty last year. So I'm going to try Bolton.
Okay, well, I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going Guthrie, you're going Bolton, Lee McKenzie's going Chapman. Wrong. Listen, we're going to be back next week. Next Tuesday night for our final episode of the season, our grand final recap, our highlights for the season. You know, one last thing I want to fry pan if I could. The choices for Mark of the Year and for Goal of the Year, they weren't that exciting, were they?
Well, Peps, if you let me actually put a run sheet together today instead of you just going off cuff for the first 25 minutes of the show, yeah, maybe I could have. We could have discussed that.
Did you have a run sheet for tonight?
No, I didn't.
Exactly. So shut up, you putz. Hey, listeners, have a great grand final day. Look after yourselves. Do the right thing by Dan Andrews. Get on the beers. All right? We want you to get on the beers, have a good time, enjoy yourselves. We'll be back next week. My camera's dropped out. What's new? And all I can say is let's go out with a bit of Mike Brady, I think, with the greatest final song ever. How do you like your footy, J-Dog?
I like it. Lace out, Peps.
I like my finals, Lisa. Come the Cutters!
See you, listeners.
I wish they could see me.
Yeah, your camera's broken again, you dickhead.